Hello folks, welcome to MRReddy automation. In today's video, I am going to talk about TestNG data provider. I will cover what is data provider and how to create data provider, how to establish the connection between data provider and test method, and how to pass data from data provider to test method. Okay. Data provider is a annotation and its method contains data in the form of two-dimensional array. Okay, we can use one-dimensional array as well, but in general, when we are using data provider, we can implement two-dimensional array. With the help of data provider, we can perform data-driven testing. Okay, data-driven testing is a process of passing different sets of data to the test method. So using this data provider, we can pass different sets of data to the test method. Okay. There are different approaches to perform data-driven testing. We can use Excel files, XML files, plot files. Okay. Where we can use data provider in real time means just let me open our application, MRReddy automation. If you go to MRMart, we have registration screen. Just I want to verify this registration functionality. Okay. If there is a scenario, just verify this registration functionality. We can test this functionality in three ways: through manual testing, through automation testing, and through automation testing by implementing data-driven testing. Okay. If you take case one in manual testing, how can we do this? Manually, we have to provide these details: username, email address, and password. Just to assume we have to do the bulk registration like 2000 users and 3000 users. We have to verify this registration functionality for 3000 users. Manually, it is very difficult, right? It is time consuming process. So manual testing is not option for this validation. Next one is automation testing. Here is the script. Okay. It will launch the application and it provides data in registration form. I am not going to talk about all these details because to launch application and enter data, just already we covered in earlier videos. So in this video, I will be focusing on data provider only. Okay. Let me execute this one and see the results. Application is opened and it enters data. Okay. We see here, it enters details for one user only. But our requirement is we have to verify this functionality for 3000 users. Okay. Again, if we execute this one, it will enter same user, right? So once this user is registered, we will get error. User already registered. This script, we cannot perform validation for 3000 users. Okay. This is where data provider comes into the picture. We have to replace all these hard-coded values. For each iteration, we have to provide new user details. Okay. So now let us see how to create data provider. Next, we have to define one method. Okay, here I have defined test data method. Okay. And we have to add data provider annotation to this method. You can see here data provider name equal to, we can specify any name for this data provider. Okay, by using this name, we can refer this data provider whenever required. Okay, and we have to specify data in that method. Okay, this is the two-dimensional array. Okay, its type is object. We can provide string as well. And after specifying data, we have to return this data. This is how we can create data provider. So once we created, we have to use this data as per requirement. So how can we use? This is the syntax. Okay, this is our test. Here we have to specify what is the name. For example, name is user data one. Okay, just we have to specify that name. We have to use this data provider as test attribute. This is annotation, right? At the rate of test, we have to specify as test attribute. Okay, data provider equal to user data one. So once we specified this, the data will be available. Then you can use these parameters, username and password. Okay. If test method and data provider is created in same class, then we can use this syntax for calling data provider. If test method and data providers are in different classes, then we have to specify class name. You can see here data provider equal to its name and data provider class. Okay, where it is available, we have to specify that class. Okay, data provider class equal to class name. This is how we can refer data provider. Now let us take a look at implementation. This is the data provider I have created. Name is tdata and method name is getData. If you want, you can skip this name also, name equal to tdata, but best practice is we have to specify name. Okay. So if you don't specify this name, then we can refer data provider with this method name. See here, this is method name and we provided data in two-dimensional array format. Test user one, test email, test password one. This is user one, this is user two, and user three. Okay, we have created three data sets. We can create a number of data sets. So once we created this data set, just we have to return this data. Just how can we call from another test? You can see here, just we are specifying data provider equal to tdata, its name, and class data provider equal to test data class. It is available in this specific class. After that, just we are using how many values are there? Three, right? We specified three parameters. Here, if you observe, we replaced hard-coded data with these parameters: user ID, password, and email. Let me execute this one and see the results. The application is open. Okay, just I'm providing some dummy data. Okay, let me do one thing. For each iteration, it is opening application, right? For each iteration, it is opening application. We have seen annotations, right? Before class. Let me add before class. Launch application. Okay, we can declare it as public. Let me execute now. Yeah, application is opened. You can observe here test user 1, again test user 2, okay, test email 2. Next time it will execute test user 3. Okay, here I am not going, just I am not validating this registration functionality after registration. Why? Because just I want to show you how it will enter different sets of data. This is how we can provide different sets of data as per our requirement. This is all about data-driven testing using DataProvider. That's all for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in next video.